Hello and welcome back to Date with the Divas. We have some hot topics to discuss with you. If you haven't subscribed, please click on that subscribe button and don't forget to like our videos and also click on that notification bell for notification of our latest and greatest. Grab your beverage of choice and let's get to it, Ms. Marnita.
Hey, Divas. All right, let's jump on in. My sources for my first story are NBC News and the New York Post. So I want to start off by saying congratulations to Coco Gauff. Coco is a young 19-year-old Black woman who has won the US Open women's final. So there's a picture of her there kissing her trophy. So congratulations to her on that. Yes, let's give her a props. Yes. I want to take it back a little bit. A couple weeks ago on August 27th, Coco had a match against Laura Sigmund, who is a 35-year-old German tennis pro. And during that match, Coco had a verbal dispute with the chair umpire for not enforcing time violations on her opponent. So there was a little bit of footage. I'm not going to try to show the footage, but I'll summarize here where Coco Gauff goes up to the chair umpire and says, she's never ready when I'm serving. She went over the clock like 4 times and you only gave her a violation once. How is this fair? And you can hear the ESPN commentator saying she's 100% right, referring to Coco. And the chair umpire tells Coco, well, you're very quick and she's very slow. And Coco's like, no, I'm going at a normal speed. As any ref here, I go at a medium pace speed. And you hear the crowd roar in the background in approval. Gauff ended up winning that match. And then she did a post-match interview where she talked about her confrontation with the ref. According to her interview, the ref started calling the violations after Coco did speak up. So that's a good thing, right? She spoke up. Now the violations are getting called. Gauff also said that there was a point in the match where her opponent was sitting down.
Sitting down, yeah.
She was not supposed to be sitting down. That's against the rules. And so Coco had to go up to the umpire again and say, hey, like, she's sitting down. That's against the rules. And the umpire's like, well, it's kind of a long game. It's, like, let her sit down. And she's like, no, I trained for this. I know the rules are that you can't sit down. So if I'm training for my endurance to stay up, she should be called on a violation because she's sitting down and she's not supposed to. Gauff also said that she does not like confrontation. She questioned herself on whether or not she should say something. She was like, 1 or 2 times she's going to let it go. But she said she counted at least 7 times that the ref didn't call certain things before she spoke up for herself. And Coco Gauff also said that she thinks that the officiating should be the same regardless of the player.
Yep.
So for this conversation, I kind of want to focus on the ref's reaction to Coco, saying like, oh, you're very quick and she's very slow. Someone brought this up on LinkedIn and I forget who it was. I don't have their name. Sorry, I looked for it. But they were talking about the fact that Coco Gauff is a Black woman, of course, and we're all minority women of different backgrounds and things. Have you ever felt penalized for being too good or better than your counterparts? Have you ever felt like you needed to dim your light, pressured to dim your light so that other people could shine? Talk to me, Divas.
Every day.
With an R, 2 R.
Every day.
I ditto that. Second that, quadruple. It's a normal occurrence.
Yeah. And I think I think generally, as a minority, as a woman, sometimes it's not sometimes, it's a lot, just to be honest, we're viewed differently in terms of how we can react. So like if a meeting is happening, well, why are you using your hands, and why are you so animated, or if a man can do this and talk like this, why can't a woman do the same, So I think as a woman, as a minority, we have those challenges.
And I want to
Totally.
say with Coco, I was very happy that even in her speech, like when she won, and in the instance where she was approaching the official, she was very articulate. She wasn't rude. She was calm. She never once like snapped back. She was just, she was just, as a matter of fact, and she was very, she was just very poised. And I had to give her credit. And I said, that speaks volumes on where she is right now as a person, and where she's gonna, where she's gonna go. So I was very proud of that when I watched it. And then it was at one point when when she said about her sitting down, and the woman, and then you see the woman get up, from her seat. And I think she might have been eating something, like, putting something in her mouth, for fuel. And she was like, she's not supposed to be sitting. And all of a sudden you see the woman get up, so. But I give her, 1,000 times credit for, just being just poised.
Yeah. I know that probably had to be hard to like question authority in that moment.
Right.
And, how is it going to look?
For tennis players, I mean, they do that every day.
Well,
I don't know.
Personality do that every day, but like she seems to even like confrontation.
Right.
I mean, everybody's not, what is it, like a McEnroe or a...
Yeah.
Right. And is this Coco's first professional round, or like how many years
Oh,
is
no.
professional so far?
No, she's been around for a while.
She's been around for
I mean, a while for her.
And this was her like...
Professionally? Because she's just 19, so give me a professional.
This is her,
no,
like, I think when she said her speech, I want to say, like, she basically mentioned each milestone of her professional career. So I want to say this might have been the 5th, real win to get this.
Oh, okay.
Right. And I think she started, I mean, because didn't she compete in, I'm going to mix up which if it was Serena or Venus that she beat, but wasn't she like 16 or 17? I mean, she was below 18
Younger,
when
right,
she beat it.
yeah.
Yeah, she was really, I mean,
Right.
young, and she's like one of the youngest players
Okay.
to come in. So she's been around at least 3 or 4 years. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
have the exact, our fact checker, Nicole.
Right.
I'm glad she won. And I, with everyone, she's very well spoken and respectful. So
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I was going to ask, is it only the tennis players who can say something to the umpire? No one else could say anything? Like the commentators noticed it, but no one else said anything? Like, I wonder, was it only on her to say something, or?
I don't think anybody can just walk down there and say, hey,
Exactly.
their coaches aren't even allowed on the court.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. And I think I want to say, just like Marnita said, you heard the commentator was like, she is right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I watch a lot of tennis, and it's just not unusual for a player to start arguing with the officiants. Just like in basketball, it happens every 2 minutes that a player is arguing with the ref. It's kind of the way it goes.
Could it be, and I don't know for a fact because I haven't followed her career, could it be that people following her, she wasn't one necessarily doing that, and then for her to do this, it's kind of like, oh wow, something. I don't know for a fact, but I'm just saying.
I felt like because she's Black and the officiant was white, as was her opponent, immediately. I think if these were 3 white women, this would not be a story.
I agree.
Agreed.
It got turned into a story with undertones.
And would this have happened?
It happened.
I was going to say, has that particular umpire been known to have this type of incident before with other people, or?
It's because some of it's subjective. So sometimes the player feels that points are not being made that should be made. Just like when you watch basketball games, like it happens. Like sometimes they want to fight those refs on the court, but it's subjective. It's like, this shouldn't have happened. Well, this was my call. It happens in tennis.
But this doesn't seem. Well, I guess maybe, is it that, I was going to say that this maybe doesn't seem subjective, but is it that the Champire, is that how they say it?
Empire,
Didn't
yeah.
see it.
I think
then
the implication of the story is that there was some racial bias in the way the game was being called, right, Marnita?
I feel like yes, and that's my take on it. I have to say I don't watch tennis at all. I don't watch tennis at all, so I didn't even think about it as far as like, oh, everyone argues with the ref or the chair umpire or things like that. I just kind of I had saw the headline last week about her kind of having this little confrontation, and I was like, oh no, I hope that this isn't affecting her negatively. I hope that she's not looking like the person that's just out there arguing. And so then when she won the US Open, I was like, okay, let me just look a little bit more and see what that was all about. So I think the connotation that was that it was racially charged, because she does say something like in her post interview, she said something like the ref should call the games fairly, no matter who the players are. So it could have been thought that it was racially motivated. It could have been thought that it was ages.
Right.
She is 19 and the other woman is, I think, 35 or something like that. I'm sorry.
Oh, really?
My notes.
Oh.
Yeah.
And tired her and needs to sit down.
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking.
The Champire did say, well, she's tired or she's
Yes.
He said something like, oh, it's long, but it's like, no, if the rules are that you don't sit down for whatever this match is, a short match or whatever, that's the rules.
And just fun fact, she went pro at age 14.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow, I didn't even go pro that young. Wow.
I mean, if you good, you can go pro whenever.
Exactly. There's soccer players. I think the youngest soccer player that went professional was 15. She 15, just turned 16.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense. You're in your prime.
Well, I guess we're all over the hill, aren't we, ladies?
Yeah.
Thanks for
that. I mean, if going to your question, even if not racially, this whole situation is not racially motivated and things like this, if you're talking about in terms of just the differences of, how women or minorities are treated, yes, I do believe that there are differences or times when those differences do happen.
Yeah,
definitely. I agree.
All right, viewers, drop down in the comments and let us know what you think about this whole Coco Gauff situation. Do you think it was racially motivated? Do you think it was being a little ageist? Do you think we was being a little soft on the 35-year-old? Because she needs a little bit more time than a 19-year-old. Watch. I was about to say, do you watch golf? Do you watch And once again, congratulations to Coco Gauff. I want to commend her for standing up for herself, whatever the motivations she feels behind the chair umpire not making those calls. I want to commend her for standing up for herself. I know that can be scary when you're a teenager. And maybe some teenagers it's not, because
somebody's going to say, really?
Teenagers are not worried about it.
There's some people. There we go.
Yeah, I actually saw there was a video. I guess she was doing a live Coco Gauff after her win, and somebody was like, you should use your winnings, the money, to pay off your debt. And she started laughing and was like, debt? I'm 19. I live in It's like, what are y'all talking about?
Exactly. What debt does she got?
She ain't got no debt.
What an assumption, huh? Did she come to you and say, here are my bills? What?
Right. So I just thought that was funny. All right, divas, we're gonna move on to the next story. So my sources are Yahoo News, Hollywood Unlocked, and Page 6. So I don't know if y'all seen, but Steve Harvey has been kind of over the blogs lately. There's been rumors flying about him and his wife, Marjorie. So on August 29th, Page 6 reported that Steve Harvey and Marjorie both shut down rumors of Marjorie cheating. And those rumors were started, according to Page 6, by a YouTuber named Daniel Keene, who tweeted that Marjorie Harvey was having an affair with Steve Harvey's bodyguard and personal chef. Steve addressed the rumors at some kind of Invest Fest that he was speaking at. Marjorie posted something on IG about how to handle being lied about. And they were both like, okay, we don't really like mess with the blogs. We don't really address the rumors, but we shutting this down. So since then, other claims surfaced about Marjorie being a gold digger, and people were bringing up her past marriages to men with drug trafficking ties. So Steve and Marjorie stayed quiet because they don't address the rumors. They fly above the haters. However, later on, a recording was leaked between Steve's radio show co-host, Shirley Strawberry, and her estranged husband.
Her felon husband, what you mean?
Yes. So her husband is in jail. And apparently one of the times when they were on the phone, she was talking to him and saying some unfavorable things about Steve, saying that like Steve is old and gets winded going up the stairs. And I guess Steve had the cast of the radio show over to his place when Marjorie wasn't there. And Shirley was telling her husband, the only reason that he was able to have us over is because Marjorie wasn't there, and Marjorie looks at us as the help, and she would never invite us over. So that tape got leaked. And so they come back they're on the radio show, and Shirley Strawberry is about to do her Strawberry letter, where she kind of reads letters and gives advice. And I think that week's letter was from her, and it was her giving a tearful apology to Steve, apologizing for all of this coming out, apologizing for the things that she said, explaining that her husband is in jail. I don't know what that had to do with it. Maybe she just like, my husband's in jail and I had to entertain him some kind of way, tell him your business. So while she is, after she makes her apology, Steve accepts her apology. And while he's addressing it, he's like, okay, I'm gonna address all these rumors because I'm tired of y'all talking about my girl, as in his wife, Marjorie. So he breaks down a timeline. He was like, I'm going to prove to y'all that she's not a gold digger and that she did not break up my last marriage, because people were claiming that as well. So he says he divorced from his last wife in 2005. And he also lost everything. He lost his LA radio show.
He was homeless and lived in a car, I believe, at one point.
Was he? At this point?
He didn't say all that in your speech.
Right.
He talked about the jobs he had lost.
Okay. Yeah. So, because I've heard that he was homeless before he like made it big, but I don't know if he was homeless then. Like, if he was homeless then, he was really mismanaging his money. But he said he like.
Now listen, Marjorie ain't a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no homeless.
Right. We'll fill in a blank there. But yeah, he said he lost his LA radio show and his TV show. If y'all remember the Steve Harvey show that was on the WB, he lost those in 2005. He said he got with Marjorie in 2006, asked her to marry him at the end of 2006. She wanted to get married in 2007. He didn't want to get married so soon. He was like, nah, I gotta build. And she was like, nah, baby, we're gonna get married, build together. So he's like, that's what they did. They married in 2007. He had nothing. And they built what they had together. He said even someone had stolen his tax returns or something like that. And he had all this debt to pay for the IRS.
22 million.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, wow.
And that she was by his side through all of that. So he's like,
those words in case a divorce comes, and she'd be like, you see, this is what you said. Oh, me.
So he said, again, he is tired of people talking about his girl. These black ass bloggers just want to make stuff up so they can get clicks. So Divas, what do you think? Are these bloggers going too far?
I mean, we've mentioned this before in a couple of videos where we're like, pictures aren't necessarily what they are. And, I mean, this is the age of fast information. And it's here you go, and we'll correct it later or say sorry later, So this is the age that it is, you know, and even in politics and things like this, I mean, the mudslinging goes back and forth, and then it's afterwards they go to the fact checking, and that's how we came up with the social media when we're saying here are the receipts and stuff like this, you know, to prove later on. So.
And sometimes people they're not even privy to the conversation. They're watching from across the room and they're interpreting things, like the same thing with Megan Thee Stallion and Justin Timberlake, where people are like, oh, they were arguing. Oh, but people are just on the side and they're like, oh, look at her face. She must be arguing with him. People are just interpreting instead of actually asking questions.
But I feel like this has dogged the Harveys for years, because I listened to Steve Harvey's his speech, and it was stunning to me because I have only known about his marriage through the blogs, and they do portray Marjorie as being a gold digger, but it's like, you know, lots of rich famous men are married to what we would call gold diggers. Whatever.
Ain't nothing wrong with a gold digger.
But it was like my perception of her based off of how their marriage is always presented. To hear him lay out that timeline, I was like, oh, so, you know, she's not sounding to me like a gold digger at all. Because he kept saying, we built what we have today, we built together. And he said 4 or 5 times, this is the best woman I have ever known. And it was really nice to see a man go so hard.
Yeah, he was really standing up for her.
Yeah.
I listened to it as well. And I
tried to tear them down.
Right. I agree with you on Teresa. I listened to him as well. I'm like, I think because a lot of people say don't respond, you know, to the information, and that's why he's never really responded, because he knows what him and Marjorie has. But I think at this point in time, he wanted to squash this because it's like, hey, she didn't mess up my marriage. She's not a gold digger from that perspective. And unless you in his inner circle, you don't know what his, you know, what was going on financially, you know, him filing bankruptcy, not having everything. Everybody looks from the outside what perception is. You may think, you know, we can all perceive. We see it. I mean, it's the whole Hollywood thing. People drive around in nice cars, but in so much debt and living with 5 people in a 1-bedroom apartment. So, you know, we can portray what we have. So again, I'm with you on Teresa. I respect the fact that, you know, he came out and really laid out. He gave his receipts and said, even though he didn't have to, because he's like, he's not letting them take her name even further through, you know.
And are you guys surprised that they've been quiet for this long? Like Teresa was saying.
Not really. He kind of seems me. Oh, we're gonna say Nicole.
I said no. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, me either. He seems like the type who would do that. You know, he's like, I'm making money, so I don't care what jobs people's opinion is. Basically, like he just finally did it just after this whole Shirley thing. You know, was the main reason why he probably did it, was because of that.
Because what Shirley said only added fuel to the fire.
Right.
What Shirley said really wasn't that bad. I listened. It wasn't. What she said is, you know, because Steve's afraid of his wife. And she didn't mean that like she was like he's afraid she's going to shoot him, kill him, or whatever. But they've been talking for years of how controlling she is. Like, that's true or not.
She can still be controlling. And still,
that Marjorie's a witch who controls Steve and only wants him for. I feel like Shirley Strawberry added to that perception. Like she doesn't think highly of the woman. It's obvious from what she was saying.
Yeah. And Steve was saying it was
a spa in her house and people come to give her massages. Like she really spent like 10 minutes talking about that with her husband.
But she said, that's great. I wish, she basically was saying, I wish I could have a life like that. That's basically what she said. She didn't say anything really bad, except, and she said she was apologizing for saying that Steve was afraid of Marjorie.
And she thinks of us as the help.
Right.
That too.
But she doesn't have to apologize for what she feels. She was apologizing for making Steve look like he was whipped.
Well, he probably is whipped. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
And it's not that bad.
Right.
I'm just saying that's why she apologized.
Right. No, and I think what I agree with like what you guys are all saying. Like, and Steve was saying it was the timing that annoyed him. So I don't know when this conversation took place, but he was like, the fact that all this other stuff is out in the blogs, and now people want to bring a recording from somebody who knows me personally And it's like all that stuff on its own isn't that bad, because some men are like whipped or whatever. And that's not uncommon for people to be like, oh, he whipped or he blah blah blah. But on top of the timing of people saying, oh, she's this and she's that, and his co-host says she's controlling. So
it was over a year ago.
Okay, yeah. But
she
he was
still be
when it was released.
It was released. It seems that it was released recently.
Ago.
Yeah.
The tapes have been released recently. The conversation she said are from a year. We don't know that. She's saying that. But they were released just
right.
Year.
And that's what, and Steve is just like, whoever I think he feels whoever released this at this time is trying to add fuel to the fire.
They were like, I need some money from TMZ. Let me release this video.
You guys, her husband is in jail for some horrendous
thing. Yeah. She's her own strawberry letter. She didn't write her own letter about her husband and her relationship.
Horrendous thing. And she's supporting him. So this was a series of tapes that got released to show that Shirley is still supporting this man who's done horrible things to her own grandchildren, allegedly.
She was. What is he in jail for, Andres? Do you know?
He can't even discuss on the channel, but let me just say this. He can't be around. She begged the judge to let him out on bond, but he can't be around women. He can't be around children. He can't be around animals.
Oh, okay. So he just needs to be in jail.
He needs to just be... What? I mean...
Lava.
Well, I don't want. I'm thinking really bad on the animals. Like
that's the part I'm just like, what animals?
Is it? Look, was it more dog?
Michael, what you call it? Like
they have dog fighting animals or animals you just like. What the heck with your animals?
Say what, Nicole?
I'm about to throw up.
Sorry. Release the details. That's what everyone's wondering. What's this animal?
Yes, these animal charges. But listen. There's SA, because I'm not going to say the words, charges against, I think, like 19 different women. And then there's children that there's some SA charges for. But it came out that the children that are in the charges are Shirley Strawberry's grandchildren.
Oh, heck no.
What? Say what, Nicole?
And her daughter.
Damn.
So the tapes are released to show this woman is still supporting this man, is on the phone with him, standing behind him. That's why the tapes are coming out.
Wait, how do you know why the government released those tapes? What you're in? In any case, this was, like I said, was a year ago. Shirley has, from my understanding, filed for divorce.
Yeah, a day ago it said she filed for divorce. Yeah.
You said a day ago?
Just a day ago?
It was real recent.
Okay, so you know what I'm about to do, right?
Be it as it may, getting back to Steve Harvey, all this could still be, it still could be her feelings about the situation, whatever. And people could still be looking in the background for whatever Steve Harvey said, did true, not true, or what have you. The man broke it down for you, and like everybody says, he said what he said, and there you go.
He said what he said. Did you find what you're looking for, Lava?
Y'all can keep going. I'm fine.
No, I was gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, you can wrap it up. I agree. Like at the end of the day, I'm gonna be real with you. I could really care less. That's why I really didn't have much to input. But But at the end of the day, it's just like let the man be. And I feel like it's just putting fire. Next.
Gotcha. Thank you. That's the perfect segue, girl. That is a perfect segue. Drew, viewers, drop down in the comments. Let us know what you think. Are you tired of these bloggers just putting mess out about people and their families? I think they're going a little too far, and we're gonna try never to do that. We're gonna try. All right, y'all. So my next topic, I got like 2 topics in one. So we're gonna have 2 little mini rapid fire conversations. I meant to mention that before we started recording. I forgot. So my sources for this are Hollywood Unlocked and the Shade Room. So tell me, did anybody watch the VMAs?
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
It's not as hip as it used to be, in my opinion. It's not as like much hot stuff happening, but go ahead.
Is it that it's not hip or we not hip?
Don't try it. They gonna okay, I'm always cool.
Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle.
I'm going to admit I'm not as hip. I didn't even realize it was last night. Then when I did realize, I was like, oh, I was out. Then I turned it on. I saw Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B do their little thing. It was and nice. Then something else came on, Demi Lovato, and then something else came on. Good. And I was like, okay, I'm turning this off. So I watched for like maybe 20 minutes. But I heard about the drama. So we're going to start with Selena Gomez was caught on camera giving an unfavorable reaction when Chris Brown was nominated for Best R&B Video. So you can see there's a little steal here. I didn't even want to try to play the video, but when Chris Brown, he like made a face. You could see that she was ready to clap, but like she made a little face and she put her hands down, like I'm not clapping for him or whatever. So later on, Chris posted something on his IG stories where he says, I'm the GOAT and you know it. Then he says, never mind, let me mind my own business. Yeah, so he posted that. iHeartRadio had reposted the moment where Selena Gomez was making that face. That's actually where the steal was from before. And she commented, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, who cares? Selena Gomez then posted, said, I will never be a meme again. I'd rather sit still than be dragged for being myself. Much love. So, ladies, what do you think about this? Do you think that people should sit still and not have their own reactions? Do we think that Selena Gomez was trying to shade Chris Brown? What y'all think about this?
I think the cameras just happened to catch her. The cameras just happened to catch her. Was she the only one that probably made those faces? Probably not.
Probably not.
What if her nose was itching at that particular moment? I'm playing.
You know what? And I thought that at first too, until I realized that she had like didn't clap. But I was thinking that too. I was like, you never know what's going on with somebody in the moment. Like we was just saying, like we don't.
But everything in about them.
Does she have to clap? Like if I'm
Thank you.
Nominated and I don't like you, do I have to clap?
Exactly.
Right. I don't think so. Shoot. This isn't a corporate office. You know, you don't have to participate.
Especially when with your history. Chris Brown has had a history. I mean, we know he's working on himself and stuff, but if she wasn't here for it, she wasn't here for it. And like someone else said, maybe the camera just happened to catch her. We don't know who else is making it.
I think whoever the cameraman was trying to be messy, the producers was.
Absolutely. I think that this week is a week of messy.
Say that again, Antrice.
How did they know to go to Selena Gomez?
Right. They had multiple cameras, girl, and they had pick and choose which one to follow here.
Exactly.
Well, they said that a camera supposedly was focused on Taylor Swift that night.
Oh yeah, she got caught dancing to Lil Wayne. She was doing a little two-step
the whole night.
She was dancing the whole time.
It was her night. She was happy.
She was
happy.
Is
there something wrong with her getting her dance on? She was like, hey.
It was her night. It was her night. She was celebrating.
I don't think that there was a camera focused on Selena Gomez like that. I just believe that, they just happened to be panning and here, let me stop here. And this is what happened. But I agree with Antrice. I mean, sometimes, like the other day I realized, I forgot, something was happening. And so people started clapping, but I'm still sitting here like, okay. But at the same time, it didn't really register in my head, like, oh, maybe you should be clapping. But then I start clapping, but in my head, I'm like, but why do I have
What am I clapping for?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, did you ever find out what you was clapping for?
I was like, what am I clapping for? I don't want to say where I was because I'm supposed to be paying attention then.
Okay.
But I want to ask
to the boss at work. Okay.
No, this is a church. Okay.
Oh, okay. The good word.
I want to ask. Well, I agree. Like, I didn't feel like they were focusing on her, but apparently, you know, sometimes during the VMAs, like they pan on certain people every so often. But during Olivia Rodrigo's performance too, they panned on her too again. So for some reason, Selena Gomez was.
You think they just had it out for Selena
I guess so, because
maybe it was just she was hot that night, like
she was
Taylor
hot that
Swift.
night for some reason.
That's,
because
I mean,
she wanted an award. What?
She did.
It's probably because
best,
of best
Afro, wasn't it best Afro song?
Afro beats with the guy she was sitting next to. I haven't heard the song.
That's the one who she sang the song with.
Okay, I haven't heard the song, but I saw the thing like Selena Gomez wins Afro beats. I was like, wait,
calm
what?
down.
Yeah, calm down.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were telling me to calm down.
No, that's the name of the song.
Okay, yeah, no, I haven't heard it. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, it's a nice song. It's a nice song.
It's a nice Caribbean kind of beat or whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Right.
Now,
my next topic, more so his song than hers, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, she just
sounds like it should be.
Exactly.
She just guessed on it.
Now, Lavelle kind of beat me to my next topic.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
But I think we all talked about, I know we had it in the group chat, but anybody who hasn't seen, there was a little video backstage during the awards of Meg Thee Stallion seemingly yelling at Justin Timberlake. You can't really tell like what's going on. You just see her with her finger out. So, you know, reports were coming out like, oh, were they arguing? What was going on? Later on, an Entertainment Tonight report came out that said, I guess he was walking by. He said, nice to meet you. And she was like, nah, you got to meet me proper. This don't count. So later on that night, there was like seemed to be an after party. The two are sitting together. We see them laughing, smiling. Yes, with the finger. And there was even another still where she like had a quote and she was like, sorry, Justin, I talk with my hands. Like I apparently do. I've been watching myself do this like all night. She's like, sorry, I talk with my hands. So, you know, we got this picture of them laughing and smiling. So it was all good. Or was it, Divas? I'm about to be one of them black ass bloggers. Y'all think they
we do?
Winning and they PR tried to clean it up real quick. What y'all think?
Oh, you know how we do. We are expressive type people. We talk with our hands. You know,
but what about the facial expression, Lavelle? I'm gonna put her facial expressions was
it's true because it looked like in the beginning, like she was laughing. It started to seem like that. I mean, it was like another Chris Rock moment, you know. But I'm just saying,
you had to go there.
It was like she was laughing. Then she started pointing, and then when she turned her face back and they were fixing her, it's like she had a screw face on, you know. So it did appear like it was something. And then the gentleman, they were walking
and Joey Fatone was laughing. He was laughing at as he was walking by.
So I could see, you know, people thinking, because again, they're not looking at Joey, they're looking at her, at least in my opinion. And when she turns back, her face is a screw face. So you would think that she was upset, you know. So I get it. But again, like we said earlier, this is the age of let's get the story out now.
Right. And then let's be honest, ain't nobody checking for the MTV Awards. So they had to drum up some drama. And I feel like this is part of that.
It's VMA, right? Wasn't it?
VMA, yeah.
I come from a family, they are talking, oh, the food was good. No, the food was good. Let me tell you, I had better food than let me tell you, and you're like, what the hell's happening? Are they arguing?
You're like, no, they're getting a compliment.
This Lavelle with no photo to go along with what you're saying. Just saying. I do all this expensive talking, but like we can't see you at all, girl.
Joe, please add an appropriate meme. Marilyn, you were gonna say something?
No, it's just funny because, like you said, as you capture people in those moments and you take an assumption. I had, and just in my personal thing, somebody took a picture. If I was to post that picture, y'all would think I got engaged. It looks like, and it was just a random capture of like taking it. I mean, it could be they the way they did it, and there was 5 other people in the picture, but they cut it off with just me and this one person. And I said, y'all gonna have me in trouble. Said we're gonna post this on Facebook, and I said you're gonna have me in trouble. People gonna be like, I went off to Africa and got engaged. My hair got down. I mean, literally. But then when you actually look at the real picture, it's not that. But it's just like if you catch somebody at the right angle and you just manipulate the picture just a little bit, and I don't mean manipulate, but like cut off the background or whatever,
Right.
you can have a whole nother narrative. And I said, they were like, oh, you should post that picture and say, mind your own business. But I was like, yeah, my phone will be blowing up. It's not worth it. So it's just, you never know like how somebody catch you or what they post, what kind of drama and clicks they can get.
Now people, all they got to say is it was AI.
Right. Yeah. True. I wasn't cheating on you, baby. That was an AI version of me. Don't believe that, computer. Don't believe it.
Look, y'all, I was at home my whole vacation. That was AI on vacation. Took me some pictures, put on my phone, put in the iCloud.
Just chilled at home.
Yeah.
Watching the Nature Channel.
So you're taking pictures, make it look real.
Trish, you got something on your mind?
No.
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. I was going to add
AI
something.
pictures all over. That's why.
I was going to add something else to this little mini lightning round. I saw a story this morning and it seems to have disappeared. There was some video of Nicki Minaj backstage seemingly yelling at someone. And I could have swore I bookmarked it on Facebook or Instagram. And I went back when I was doing my notes and I didn't see it no more. So I'm wondering if the person that put it up, had to take it down because, as we said, these first facts ain't always true.
Right. I wonder who she was arguing with. Yeah,
that's the thing.
That wasn't the Cardi B story when she was arguing way back when.
No, it was something like I feel like Kempire posted it, and then he was like, oh, did Nicki, because then nobody knew who she was, like he didn't know who she was yelling at, or if she was yelling at all. Like this could have been another like misread of the situation. I saw it this morning. I thought I bookmarked it. I went back to his page. I didn't see it. But hey, maybe I was dreaming. I don't know.
And if so, then maybe that's a good thing. They're checking their facts.
Yes, exactly. They're checking their facts.
Before they post, they should check their facts. Because somebody should already screenshot.
No time. We got to get the clicks.
Question, Divas. Do you guys think it was a little bitch assy of Chris Brown to respond to
yes.
this?
Yeah.
He always is a little bitch assy. He always is.
We yelled at him before about that to calm down with his replies, right?
Right.
I've seen somebody that Chris Brown thinks that everybody should bow down to him for some doggone reason. Like, dude, you should be thanking your stars that you're still in the business, okay, and not in jail.
Nominated for things, right?
Exactly. Yeah, like what? Like
what kind of grown man wakes up and tweets something like that off of
right?
May not even be true. He's just too much.
Yeah. No. Yes.
He's an attention whore.
Like we said, that keeps the clicks on him up, right?
That's true. That's true. He was like, let me make sure people saw this reaction to Selena Gomez reacted to my
See, that was him. Maybe it was him that posted it.
Right. It probably was. Probably no. Selena could just have some indigestion. Maybe maybe Selena had indigestion at that exact moment. Who knows?
Yeah. It doesn't F with you. Like, what's the big deal?
Right. It's Selena Gomez. Like who? Like y'all don't have the same fan base.
I'm sure there's a few people in that room that don't like Chris Brown. Like what?
Right. I think a little bit more than a few, but it's not that serious. That's
anybody in the room who's.
Thank you.
There's going to be people that don't like you. What's the big? Yeah. To get up and tweet them the next day, like
he's about as bad as Kanye.
I think it was just very cocky and says, "I'm the GOAT."
Right. To me, in my opinion, he's about as bad as Kanye as far as his delusion. I think everybody needs to bow down to him. He has the delusions of grandeur.
My thing is, to the GOAT, Lava, you can show us better than you can tell us, right?
Listen, don't come for me. I'm just reiterating. I
would, wonder for why, and this goes back again to what we said, like do we have to, the we's of the world,
we have to respond to
everything. Yeah, respond to everything. Like,
why don't we just
get in the studio and record some beats. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I was thinking about that. Like, when was the last time he had his own record? Because he's just been playing on other people's stuff, right?
He was nominated for something.
But my thing is this: if I'm still getting checks
doesn't matter
by what you call it, by being the featuring on someone, I'm gonna collect some royalties regardless.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, y'all. Well, that was a fun one. Viewers, drop down in the comments. Let us know about these VMA beefs. Let me know if you heard about this whole Nicki Minaj possibly yelling at somebody thing. Anybody got the inside track? Did anybody go to the VMAs? How was it?
But fact check first.
or I'll check first. I'll check after you tell me. I probably can't check because if you give me a first-hand account, I'm just be like,
send us photo proof.
I'll be like, the street said that she was yelling at blah blah.
Right, because that's who Alicia go by the streets.
Yeah, don't blame me, blame the streets.
Right. That's true. So true.
All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when our videos come out. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Date with the Divas. Follow us on Twitter, Date W the Divas. Twitter or X, it's still twitter.com. It just, the logo says X. Come on down and interact with us in the social media channels. All right, y'all. See ya.
Good night.